Hello,
Okay.
everyone, and welcome to our Mothers in Business series of interviews. And today we have the amazing Grace Quarshie, all the way from Ghana. And she is a successful businesswoman, successful mum. She runs her home. She does so many different things. And we're really excited to have her today to hear all about how she manages juggling motherhood and business. Hello, Grace, and welcome.
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us, Grace. And I love your bright glasses. They almost match our banner here for Mothers in Business.
Thank you. Thank you. So I always say that you take the cast and give me my frames. I love them.
Wonderful. It suits you, it gives you a very bright glow. Thank you. So before we start off with our quick fire questions for our listeners, can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Wow. Well, my name is Grace Quarshie, and I am a self-published author of 2 books. This is my first book, I Kissed My Job Goodbye, How I Went from Joblessness to Owning My Own Business. And my second book is on the way, and I'm part of 13 authors who put together one book, My Africa, My Identity. I'm an international speaker. I'm also a mindset and money coach. I work with African women to help them overcome the setbacks, stopping them from taking their lives and their businesses onto a global platform. I'm also a serial business entrepreneur with several startup businesses that I'm growing and working on them. Yeah, but this was not me 5 years ago. I mean, 5 years ago, I was laid off from my high profile banking job, and I came back home not knowing what to do with myself, being disappointed, broken, and discouraged that as a young girl who ran away from the home at the age of 19 years to go to a university, graduate, and get a good job, I was not able to achieve my dreams of rising up to the corporate ladder so I could become an inspiration to other women. And that really discouraged me. But it wasn't until I decided to take responsibility of my own life and turn the bad things, the setback that has happened to me, into a successful story. And by God's grace, through that, I've been able to help a lot of people overcome the anxiety that comes along with losing a job, get them start something on their own. I've also been able to help a lot of women that feel that because of what they have been through and they feel that they are not good enough, I've been able to help them identify their uniqueness and use it to create impact and profit too as well. So basically, that is what I do.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you. And you said here that you're a speaker, you're an author, you're an entrepreneur. Obviously, prior to that, you had a life in the corporate world. You do so much. And you're also a mother.
Yeah, and I don't know why I always forget that one. I'm married to a pastor. I'm a pastor's wife too as well. So I have a women ministry too that I manage. And also I have a son. I have a very vibrant son who is like 4 boys.
How old is he?
He'll be 3 next month. He'll be 4 next month. Yeah.
Wow, so he's still young.
He's still young. Yeah,
So
he's still young.
tell us, Grace, how do you fit it all in? All these roles, all these hats that you're wearing. Fit it all in?
I must tell the truth and say it right here. I just love to be real with people. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy at all. It's a matter of you placing priorities and putting yourself in a position to function and to get the result done. It's not easy at all. But one thing that gets me moving is that when I lost my job 5 years ago, I had the option of going back to the corporate world again. I had people who gave me referrals and all that. But I was scared to go back because I was thinking, going back, what if I don't get a job again? And I took a decision that I want to start my own business and have my own life. And so even though there are so many things that I go through as a mother, as a speaker, as a coach, as a business entrepreneur, and all that, one of the things that drives me is, why did I decided to do this? Nobody forced me. I made a choice that I wanted to start my own business. And so if I want to do it, it means that I have to do it and make sure that I become successful in it. So the first thing is that even though the hurdles are too many, there are so many things that you have to do. You have to find a definite purpose that will drive you, and I'm using the word a definite purpose that will drive you in the middle and in the midst of all these things. Because trust me, the entrepreneurial journey is full of ups and downs, and sometimes there can be a lot of downs. And if you don't have any definite purpose or anything that drives you, that will move you when you are weak and you don't know what to do, then you are going to come out of it very soon. So one of the reasons I have a definite purpose, and that keeps on driving me onto all the other things that I'm doing now. And I also try to enjoy the process. I try and I enjoy the process, because when you are not able to enjoy the process, you will not have the fulfillment in the journey. So I also try to enjoy the process, which I believe that, Linda, that the process of the entrepreneurial journey, it makes you a better person. It's improve your skills, it improve your people skills, your communication skills, and develop you. I'm not the same person 5 years ago. It's so real. I'm not the same person 5 years ago. 5 years ago, there was no way I could sit in front of a camera and be talking to you like this. There was no way, no way, no way. So the entrepreneurial journey has transformed my life. So the joy of enjoying the process and also knowing that whilst you are helping people, you are also changing yourself. In fact, you have to change yourself first before you can even transform other people's life. And looking back 5 years ago, I love the person that I am today. And I'm so proud of myself, of what I'm doing now, helping other people and also transforming my own life. So the process, having a definite purpose and also enjoying the process, that will make you feel fulfilled. Every day you wake up you are anticipating something good. You wake up with expectations, you wake up with helping other people, you wake up having ideas, creative ideas in your mind that is going to transform somebody's life. That makes the journey a fulfilling one.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and that's so inspirational, because I know there'll be many women watching this that perhaps aren't in business yet, have it as an idea, think, yes, this would be lovely to do, something to call my own, but I'm so scared, I'm so fearful, I don't know, I'm not comfortable to step my foot out of that comfort zone. But then listening to, you keeping it real and saying, it's not easy. But then again, on the flip side of that, saying to our listeners that, if you find your purpose and you know what your purpose is, and focusing on that, having that laser vision focus, that will help you to drive through those ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And, whether you're a mother or a father, or you don't have any children or not, as long as you're an entrepreneur, you will go through those ups and downs. And a lot of the times people will see you once you become successful and think, oh, wow, isn't she lucky? How did she do that? But they have no idea of what you've had to do in between, because it's all about your mindset. It's all about having that laser focus. It's all about those days when you're tired, you don't even want to get out of bed. You don't want to go onto social media. You don't want to make up your face to, have that perfect photo, whatever. But you just need to, because you know that you've got your community out there that you need to serve and that you need to help and support. So that I'm so glad that you brought that up in terms of, finding your purpose. But just sticking on with that, some people might think, okay, well, what does that actually mean? How do I find my purpose? Because it's something, for me anyway, it's a process that you have to go through to find your purpose. You can't kind of just sit there and think, okay, well, my purpose is to help women, So for people that are listening, how did you is there any sort of tips that you can share in terms of how you found what your purpose was?
So and first of all, let me talk on something you said about somebody who is listening to us, a mother. Maybe you're in the corporate world, you want to step out, or you are not even in the corporate world, but you want to step out to be bold and start something on yourself. I tell people that being an entrepreneur or starting something on yourself is not about getting a product or something to sell on your head or whatever. It's about finding a problem or finding a love for something that you want to help people achieve or experience. So the fear is going to come, whatever you want to do, as soon as you make up your mind to start something, it's an initial thing that shows that you're a human being who is growing. So the fear will definitely come. So don't allow the fear to stop you. The president of the United States of America, before he wanted to go and stand for the president, he experienced fear. You can go and ask him. Everyone experiences. But the thing is, you should not allow the fear to stop you. Now, moving on to finding a purpose, a definite purpose, as you rightly said, Linda, it's a process. And until you start and take that step, you will not discover that purpose or whatever you are made for or you want to do in life. So it's about you. Most of the time, when we start a journey of discovering ourselves and our purpose, it's never clear. It's never clear. I know people sometimes when I coach people, I tell them, you will not see it so clear. But as you start and you take the step, as the day unfolds each and every day, it becomes clearer to you. And I believe that, Linda, you and I will agree to this, that you have been in business for 21 years. And I really celebrate you for that. I congratulate you for that. I started the entrepreneurial journey 5 years ago. And I am still discovering things as I go along the way, And initially, even when I started, there were a group of people I was serving that I thought that they needed what I have. But later on, I realized that they didn't need what I have. And so I started discovering again until I started knowing that, look, there are particular women I want to help. And which are these women? Women who are allowing the thought of not good enough to stop them or their setback to stop them. And they have so many good things in them, but they are stopping themselves because they feel they are not good enough. So your purpose, as you take the step to discover yourself and your purpose, it unfolds every day. Now, there are things that can be like a guide to determine your purpose or what you know that this is what you are being called for. Number one is, I say that find the things that you love doing. Find the things that you love doing and the things that you are good in. And sometimes people come to you for, we don't know, people call us and you have a friend and they know that you are good in a certain area. They will not call anybody for an advice or an insight. They will call you because when they call you or when they come to you, they will get the solution or the advice that you need. And every time you are talking to them or helping people out with that particular thing that you are good at or you love doing, you feel happy, you feel fulfilled. And you don't even care if people don't pay you for it. You don't even care if people don't pay you for it. So look at those things. And there are some specific characteristics or qualities that you have used throughout your life. For me, when I'm talking about those specific qualities, I am determined, I am resilient. I am determined and I am resilient. So throughout my life, I have stories right from when I was born, the things that I've gone through, the things that I've been able to overcome. So many things. My dad was not ready to take me to university. I ran away from the home at the age of 19 years to take care of myself. And I did that for 12 years, slept on the street and all that. And I was able to go to the university, graduated with a second class upper, and had my own graduation with nobody, only my mom and some few friends came. So this resilience is something that I know that I have. And anytime my desire is to help people build that resilience in them and not to give up on themselves, no matter what they go through. So that is what I have crafted around my brand, and that is what I'm using. I see this as my purpose. So yours might be you can teach people, you can communicate well with people, and people, when you are talking to people, they find it so comfortable to come with you. So it means that you can build a community. People are you have a charisma that attracts people to you. And when they come to you, they are so much comfortable and okay to share their story and all that. Such a person, it means that your purpose is to draw people closer to you, support them and help them. So you can build a community around it and start something. It might not be clear from the beginning. And also, when you identify all those things, what is it that you want to do in this world with whatever you have? The world is in a state right now, currently, that people need a lot of support. So, what is it that whatever you have identified, whatever you love doing, whatever is good that you are doing, what is it that you can do to make this world a better place? Now, when I'm saying the world, I'm not saying the whole world. The world might be your closest community, women at your church, mothers around you, children around you, adolescent children who have issues and all that. These people could be your world. There are some women, they can talk to children and children will understand them. I have a 3.5 years old boy. He tells me what he wants to do. And sometimes communicating with him is so difficult. I'm a first mother and I get confused sometimes. But maybe you have been able to raise 4 boys, 4 girls, and you have trained them from 0 to 60 years, and you know how to communicate with adolescents. There are lots of parents out there who are struggling to communicate with their adolescent children. That could be an area that you have love for. You can start looking into it and build something around it. And that is your world. And that is your world. Making the world a better place. That is your world. I think that's something briefly I would say when it relates to purpose. I don't know if it sings very well. It makes sense with whoever is listening.
Yes, it does. It certainly resonates with me. And thank you so much for sharing that. And what I took away from that is that the key thing is that make sure that, when you're looking at your purpose, to be open, because it is a transition. It's not something that you just find and then that's it for the rest of your life. Because once you've achieved your purpose, you grow. Like you say, you keep growing. And then you may then change your purpose or you may amend it slightly. But the key thing is to be open. And also what I took away from that is when you, when you're going into business, find something that you love. So, there might be lots of money in trading, but if you're not trading minded, then don't go into trading. If you're more of a florist and you like to be creative, or you're a dancer, do what you love. If you don't like teaching, do what you love, because sometimes people follow the money rather than following their passion. And that
when it comes to the entrepreneurial journey, it's not I've grown to come to just 5 years. I've not gone far, but I've grown to know that you have to love your purpose, passion, and the people before money will come to you. It suddenly became real to me that this is what the journey is all about. The people before the money or whatever will come through, adding value to the lives of people and making people's lives better.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So just moving on to our quick fire questions, Grace. You mentioned earlier that, your son is 3.5 and sometimes you find it a challenge communicating with him because he's your only son. So thinking about you as a parent and also as a busy entrepreneur, what would you say is your biggest challenge when you're juggling between motherhood and business?
One thing that having time for him, and also having time for my business, that is the challenge. And if you are in a startup business, you can relate with me that you need more time. You have to put more time into your business when you are building. You have to put in more time into your life when you are becoming, you want to build a career. I'm building a career in speaking as an author. I'm writing book. I'm writing my fourth book, and I have to sit behind the computer. I have to write, and I have to attend classes, coaching programs, and all that. And at the same time, I have to have time for my son. Sometimes I sit there and I ask myself questions: am I truly having time for him? So, number one is time. That's the challenge: time, to know how to uh, give time to him, and not, he's not only the only one. My husband too is there, and my work too as well. So during the day, you are working, and you are so much into your whatever you are doing, and you look at the time, you have to go and fix dinner, and you wish you are not doing that. I've been praying for a cook since, and it's my desire that I'll get a cook, and you wish you were not doing that, but you have to stop, and then you have to go and prepare dinner and all that. But in all that, it has taught me a lesson to be able to prioritize my time. I remember I had a coaching section with one of the world's motivational speaker, Lisa Nichols. I was on the program, and we were taught how to manage, create a timetable and all that. It was very difficult at the beginning, but I noticed that if I don't do it, I will not go anywhere. And so managing time is priority when it comes to the family and also the business. So I had to I'm on a timetable. So when I wake up at this particular time, I know I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'll do what I have to do in the morning. When my son comes, I have to pause and come and spend some 20 or 15 minutes with him. Then I go back to my office and go and work and all that. So you have to schedule your time as well, that you know what you are doing at a particular time. Other than that, everything will be like scattered around, and you become overwhelmed. You become overwhelmed too as well. So that's one of the challenges. And this having a good timetable or good schedule to manage it. That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And that's so important to, to be organized, to have a plan and to be organized. But I think also, when you're a mum and you're in business, there has to be that area of flexibility as well, because sometimes things happen. Your child, God forbid, might have an accident at school, and the school calls you in, or you might have to go to a meeting or whatever that isn't in that plan, isn't in that daily plan. So, but having that overall plan is very, very important. One of the things that I just wanted to pick up is when you talked about, you said having time for your business, having time for your son, having time for your husband, but I didn't hear you talk about you. Having time for you.
For myself.
Yeah.
It's very
Which is very
important.
Yeah.
So it's part of it. So for me, on Mondays, I don't do anything. So Mondays are my prayer time and my quiet time. And so I do like minimal social media. Sometimes I don't even do at all. I don't respond to emails and all that. So I wake up, I pray, I sleep, and all that. In the evening, I find a good movie to watch or a good comedy to laugh and all that. And also during the night, maybe when I put my son to sleep, sometimes he sleeps late. I have to be there and all that. But when he sleeps, I find a quiet time and reflect over my day, or reflect over a book or a scripture, and also I pray. So it's also good to find time. And I love to sleep a lot. I love to sleep. I don't joke with my sleeping. I tell people that I can sleep for the world. So I like today I woke up early, and when I wake up early, I have a routine. I see my son off school and I go and sleep again. And then I wake up around 10 and start my work. Then my son will come back. I will take care of him. And then after I work a little bit, if I don't have any class or any meeting, I'll come and have like a 1 hour, 30 minutes nap in the afternoon. And I wake up and I continue my day. But I sleep very late. I sleep like 2 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m. into the night. Yes. I love the atmosphere in the night. It's so quiet and I can also concentrate and all that. So that's why when I wake up, I have to get my energy again. I sleep for some 2 hours before I start my work again. So we all have different personalities and different surroundings around us. But I would say that find the one that will make you productive at the end of the day as a mother. Very, very important
Sure.
as the end of the day as a mother. Find the one that will make you very productive. Sometimes if I have the time, we put in vacation, travels, and all that into it. And
Thank you for sharing that. And I've not you know, in terms of me being a mum, I don't have a whole day out, but I think it's interesting to hear how other people have their own self-care. So that's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. You also mentioned,
I know you have a senior, you have your children are grown up, and I always admire you. I always look at myself. I say, oh God, when I'm actually when I always admire you from afar. But I know you've been through your moments already, and now you are enjoying. It's good.
well, yes, I'm enjoying, but the thing is, the challenges are still there. They're just different. So when your children are now big and they start going out on their own, and you know, they start socializing and things like that, and you're sort of there as a mother kind of worrying, are they safe? Or they start driving, are they still safe, you know, on the road and things like that. So the challenges are still there, but just very different. But you do obviously have a lot more flexibility in your time. And yes, yeah, but we all go through that. So you were talking about help before, and I know that one of the common things for women is that they don't like to ask for help, particularly mothers, because they don't want to feel like they can't cope, or people feel that they're not a good enough mum because they can't do it all by themselves. So what would you say to any of the mothers listening that feel that they're not good enough, or they feel that they shouldn't have any help because they're a mum, that's their role, they should just be able to manage everything?
When you said that, I was smiling because I used to be like that. I used to be like that, and sometimes when you look, the roots down of the issue is where maybe a woman has felt there's a little bit of self-esteem or self-image there, where you think that somebody will judge you because you are asking for help. I used to be like that until I started working on myself. When you have a free mind, you know that asking of help is a strength. It's a strength. So until I got to know that if I don't ask for help, I will break down. I cannot do everything on my own. I need help. So asking for help is a sign of strength that, look, I need someone to help me or to complement me here so that I can become very strong in this area or in this other area of my life. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. So if you're a mother in a home and you know that things are too much on you, if there's a way you can get a help, please go ahead and ask for it, because we cannot do everything on our own, especially mothers in business. We cannot do everything on our own. It's a matter of us also living a balanced life. Every time I weigh myself and I ask myself, I hope I'm not doing too much my business and leaving my family, or too much my family and leaving my business. Yes, the business is the one going to take care of the vacation and all those things, the food on the table. You have to put in the best, but you also have to make sure that you keep the family. So the balance is very important. And sometimes you need help to keep the balance. So please let this be in your mind. I need help to keep the balance. If I don't have the help, I'm not going to keep the balance. Things might be going up like this and all that. So please ask for help. I used to be like that until I noticed that I was killing myself. It will not help me. It will not help me. So please ask for help.
And I think, thank you for sharing that, Grace. And I think that is a mum thing. I certainly went through that myself. I thought to myself, well, I don't remember seeing my mum asking for help or my sisters who've got kids asking for help. It just must be me. So I wouldn't accept help. I just thought I'd need to get on with it. And then I became very overwhelmed, and it started affecting my health as well. But it's beautiful the way that you say, you know, using help as a strength, you know, to complement what you're doing, you know, getting somebody to help to complement what you're doing and to help you be strong, which is a really positive way of thinking about it. And I think, you know, if anyone gets anything from this interview, that's one of those mic drop moments there, you know, having help is a strength. So thank you for sharing that. And so my next question is about mum guilt. So as mums, we go through mum guilt. You know, my kids are grown, I still go through mum guilt, but not as much as I did when they were younger. And so when you're thinking about, you know, you were talking before about the balance and perhaps not spending enough time with your child as your business, how do you cope with mum guilt? And what would you say to anyone that's currently going through mum guilt?
So sometimes there are some things you can't have control, but you just have to let them be, you know. And don't let it be a guilt, you know. Let's try and find a positive way around it. We feel it's all right, you know. And I can use a typical example, like my son will come, I'm in the office, and I know that I have to come. When he comes, I have a phrase I use to welcome him. My champion son is here. Mm-hmm. And sometimes he might come and I'm on the phone or I'm busy into something. And this boy will come and ask me, Mommy, you didn't say my champion son is here. Mommy, you didn't say my champion son is here. So you see, I'm like, sometimes I did like, God, you should have been something. I will say it later. Yeah, you know. And like for instance, yesterday was Monday. So when he came, I was praying in my office. And I didn't say it. I told him that, look, go, when I finish praying, let your father help me to sort you. When I finish praying, I'll come out. And then when he was going, I felt guilty. I didn't say it, that at least let me just give him. So can you imagine? He went outside and I called him in again that come. And I hugged him and I said, my champion son is here. Before I was okay. I felt guilty, you know. So it will come, but I think we should find a positive vibration around it, you know, and try and not make it to affect us in a negative way, because as we go through it will definitely come. So let's try and find a way of, if we feel guilty, then let's do something to let the guilt go out. Whatever you have to do, like I called him back and I said, oh, my champion son is here. I know myself that I would have felt guilty if I had not called him back to say that thing. Or maybe I would have forgotten to say it. So calling him back immediately, telling him that I was okay with that. So whatever area around us that we find ourselves guilty, working as a mother and all that, don't let it affect us positively. Whatever negatively, whatever we have to do to recall that guilt back and take it away, let's go ahead and do it. I just see that it's something that will keep on coming that we cannot do anything about, but we shouldn't let it affect us in a negative way. That's what I'll say on that one. I don't know if what I say makes sense, but that's what I'll say on that one.
That made perfect sense. That made perfect sense. And what I got from that was that communication is the key, because, you know, you could have just left it and not spoken to your son, and then the guilt would have just overwhelmed you. Or you could have sorted it out and called him back and said, you know, you're my champion son, or whatever the phrase is. So that made you feel better. It also made him feel better. And that's about the communication between the two of you. And I think often when, you know, when mums go through mum guilt, that's what's missing, the communication, because we just have it all in our head. Oh, I feel so guilty. This has happened, you know, and we just consume it so much, but we don't actually talk to our children. We don't say to them, oh, mummy's on the computer right now because I've got to do X, Y, and Z. I'll just be here for another 10 minutes, then I'm going to give you my attention. We ignore it, and then we just carry on, and then the 10 minutes turns into 20 minutes, 20 minutes turns into an hour, and then by the time we turn around, the kids are falling asleep, and then we just feel like, oh my goodness, the worst mum in the world. But had we had that conversation in the interim, that would have given us that commitment, that would have given us that trigger to remember, actually, no, I said I'm only going to be 10 minutes. I've got to go in 10 minutes. I've got to leave this task. And even if it means that I can't leave it in 10 minutes, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, I know I said it's going to be 10 minutes, but can you just give me 2 more minutes? And I'll definitely be with you. It's just about that communication, because then that in your own mindset helps you to feel a bit better. It calms you down. It gives you that bit of space to finish off what you're doing, but also gives you that space to communicate with your child as well. So that's a brilliant point you brought up there. And you may not have thought it was, but it's all about the communication. So thank you for sharing that.
I think that's it. And sometimes the children also understand us, they understand us. And with the children we have nowadays, they are so smart. They are so smart. They understand us. They can relate with us. And so trying to communicate with them, they will get it. They will understand, oh, okay, mommy said this, and I know she's doing this. So my son knows that when he comes, 80% of the time, when he comes back from school, you see me in the office. So they understand that mommy is working. They understand that this is what mommy is doing. And sometimes when they know that whatever mommy is doing will help them get their toys, will help them get their character birthday cakes, and all those things they want, when we communicate with them, they will understand.
Yeah. And it's also, although you say, when you come home, 80% of the time your son sees you in the office, but it's also very inspirational as well, because, for your son, he's seeing that mum is more than just a mum. Mum is a businesswoman. Mum has an office. Mum has her little space where she's being creative, where she's helping other people, other women. And so that inspires him to know that, women can be more than just the cook, the laundry lady, the nurse, etc. And so when he chooses, if he chooses to, when he's older, to to have a wife, a partner, etc., that the woman's role is not just to sit at home and be the homemaker. So it's very, very inspiring that he can see that from a young age. And often mums don't see that. They don't that light bulb.
It's very true. It's very true. Yeah.
So we need to think about the whole thing holistically. So my final question to you, Grace, it's been lovely speaking to you, is for those mothers that perhaps are maybe on maternity leave, or they're stay-at-home mums, or they're in the corporate world and they're desperate to get out, and they don't have the confidence just yet because they think it's too hard and it's easier just to do what they're doing and stay comfortable. What would you do? What would you say to them to encourage them to make that move, to start their own business?
I deal with a lot of this type of women that you have mentioned, and I just tell them as it is. The confidence might not come if you are waiting for it. You just have to start. I have never started anything that I was so confident and so bold to start. Never. Never.
Yeah.
I started in fear. I started without knowing what I was doing. But one thing that made me start was my dream to achieve, my desire and my passion to do something for myself. That's what made me start. I have never started anything that I know I decided some years back I wanted to be an international speaker. I'm a functional dyslexist, or whatever they call it. Sometimes when I'm speaking, I have to look at thinking, should I say have, has, or whatever else? But all I know was that I want to inspire people who have lost their jobs. That losing a job is not the end of your life. That is all I wanted to do. So I started. And when I started coaching. I started doing it. That was when I started building or getting the confidence to do what I'm doing now. I'm telling you, and whoever is listening, when I started social media, anytime I write a post, you see an error or mistake or something. My husband will come, look, you spelled this way, you did this thing, and I'll go back and correct it. Sometimes I feel so bad about myself. And I'm like, can I do this thing? But one thing about me, one of my strengths is that I'm teachable. I love to learn. So I started learning. All the things I'm doing, I go for coaching program. I've spent over dollars of money on coaching programs. That is how come I started building my confidence in whatever I'm doing. I went to Lisa Nichols' speaking campus to learn the science and the art of speaking. And it helped me to come up and say, I want to speak somewhere, or someone should invite me for an interview like this or something. So if you say you don't see the confidence in you before you say you start, start. If you want to speak, start speaking, do live videos. Don't worry, people will laugh at you. The English might not be right, but when you start, every time you are doing it, they say practice makes man what? Perfect. Every time you are doing it, you become perfect. Every time you are doing it, you see that, okay, the last time I said this, listen, let me do it like this. Today, I can write one post. Sometimes I say it, sometimes with no mistakes, sometimes I go back and correct it. But that has not stopped me to be doing what I am doing.
Yeah.
So I just say start. Don't let the confidence that you don't have start. And also when you start and you see your growth gaps and you see that, no, this thing I have to learn, go for coaching. Go for coaching and learn how you can do it. And then when you go for the coaching and they show you, come and implement it. Come and implement it. You might not get so much clarity, you might not even understand, but come and implement it. As you do it, you build your confidence. You keep on growing. If you are afraid to do something, the more you do the thing, the more you subdue the fear. The more you do it, the more the fear comes down. The more you do it, the more the fear comes down. That is how we grow. But if you say that you want to be confident before you start, I don't think so that you're ready to start. You just have to go ahead and start. And God will open up doors and you get the support and the right people that you need to help you. I don't know if what I said makes sense. That's it.
That there was another mic drop moment there. I loved what you said about you started in fear. Not many people say that. Not many people say that, but it's true. Because if you start something and you're too comfortable, you're too relaxed, then that you've got nothing to lose, and you don't necessarily have that.
That will not even let you grow. When you are starting something that is bigger than you, you definitely face fear. If you are starting something that you are comfortable in, it means that thing is too small for you.
Exactly.
It's too small for you.
Exactly.
It will not make you grow.
Yeah, so that's very encouraging and inspiring for our listeners, that you started in fear. So those people that are watching thinking, I can't start this because I'm fearful, I can't start this because I'm scared, that's the point. That means that it's really exciting for you and that there is room for you to grow. So thank you so much for sharing that, Grace. It's been amazing speaking to you and for you sharing all of your amazing nuggets. But before we go, please do tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you if they want to find out more about your work, if they want to, work with you or whatever. How can people get in contact with you?
Yes, please. First of all, you can get on all my social media handles, Grace Quarshie on Instagram, LinkedIn, Grace Quarshie, Facebook. My profile page is Grace Quarshie, and my business page is Grace Quarshie. And you can also visit my website, www.gracequarshie.com. My book, I Kissed My Job Goodbye, is on Amazon. You can get your copy in Kindle version and paperback version as well. And all my social media handles have my email and my phone number. If you want to contact me, and you can contact me. I have some of my online courses, some of my social media handles on LinkedIn, and I think Facebook. You can contact me there as well.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And what we'll also do, Grace, is when we upload this onto YouTube, we'll also list all of your contact details on there as well, and how they can get your book as well.
Okay.
So it's been amazing talking to you today. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thank
Grace.
you.
Thank you
Yeah,
for your
thank you so
time.
much, Linda, for the opportunity. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity as always. And I always say that if you have a message and no one gives you the platform to share it, you don't have a message. So thank you for giving me the message. And also thank you for giving mothers in business the opportunity to hear this on your platform, and I believe that is going a long way to empower a lot of mothers and to also inspire them to do more with their life. You are doing a great work with the Global Women Platform, with Mother in Business, and all that. So thank you very much for supporting our work too as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Grace. And that means a lot to me, because I know that a lot of mothers are, they lack confidence. They lose their identity through motherhood. And so they may not be as active as me and you on social media, and they'll be there in the background, but they just need to listen to, to people like yourself. They just need to, be in the middle of cooking dinner and have this interview on in the background, to just listen and be inspired and be empowered to think, actually, I can do more. I'm a lot more than what I believe I am. I'm playing too small. I am good enough. And, you shared so many golden nuggets today that I know for sure it will inspire some women, some of those women that are, in the background and wanting to do more for themselves, and knowing that, it's never too late. It's never too late to start. You said just start. Yeah, but it's not about starting because you've only got one child or you've got no children. You can have 10 kids. Just make a start. And like I said earlier, you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it to help other people. You're inspiring yourself, you're inspiring other women, you're inspiring other mothers, but more importantly, you're inspiring future leaders, because you're creating those future leaders in the children that we are as mothers creating. So thank you so much for your time today, Grace. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.